And on to more breaking news coming in. This one with respect to the Taliban statement that has been issued on Zawahiri killing. In fact, the statement that has just been released by the spokesperson of the Islamic Emirate, which says that on August 1, an airstrike was carried out on a residential house in the Shirpur area of Kabul city. At the onset, the nature of the incident was not revealed. The security and intelligence agencies of the Islamic Emirates investigated the incident and found in their preliminary investigation that the attack was carried out by American drones. So that's a statement that has been put out by the Islamic Emirates, going on to say that it strongly condemns this attack on any cause and calls for its clear violation of international principles and the Doha Agreement. We have a senior editor, Shravan, also joining us. Shravan, if you could help us read into this, because of course here we've been talking about how Taliban seems to have given a safe haven to Zawahiri. How do you read into this statement that has now been released by them?
So, Samiksha, this comes just hours after Secretary of State Anthony Blinken has basically said that the agreement that was signed between Taliban and the United States has basically been disregarded. The fact that there has been a violation, keeping in mind that they were basically giving safe haven to terrorists like Al-Zawahiri. Now, what's very important to point out here is that if you just take a look at the statement that has been issued by the spokesperson of Taliban, they are basically saying that it's a violation. Second, there is not a single mention of the fact, not a single mention of the fact that you had someone who's considered to be close to the Haqqani faction, who was basically being housed there, and in fact for a long period of time, Samiksha. It was not that he was there only in the last few days. In fact, this entire operation was being planned by the United States for almost over a month, starting from the month of July. If you take a look at some of the inputs that have come in, the CIA, which has been working on this operation for almost a month. Having said that, Taliban has essentially housed this terrorist, and remember, they had basically given an assurance to the United States of America that there is going to be a severe crackdown. And the fact that Afghanistan is not going to be a safe haven for terrorists. But despite that, what has essentially happened is that Al-Qaeda chief was actually housed there. Not just that, his family members were housed there. And the fact of the matter here is that there is a Pakistani role that is also emerged.
Yes.
Remember, Pakistan has been...
All right, so Shravan, they're getting us all those details, and now Taliban also issuing a statement condemning the attack by the US forces on this particular house where Zawahiri had taken shelter. Remember, he was eliminated by the US forces. We have Shravan back with us. Shravan, from the face of it, does it look like Taliban as well as Pakistan were hand in glove in sheltering, in giving shelter to Zawahiri? Because we understand from our sources that the Haqqani network is the one who owned this house where Zawahiri had taken a shelter in.
No, Samiksha, the fact is that Pakistan's role cannot be ignored. The fact of the matter is that Pakistan has been pushed, the back has been pushed to the wall. Now, only simply because of the fact that their economic conditions, they are in doldrums at this point in time. They are hoping that they would get in some loans which would help them survive. It turns out some reports essentially suggesting that the leak that basically came in about the whereabouts of the Al-Qaeda chief was actually coming in from Pakistan. It was only to perhaps escape the FATF action that is likely to be taken, because remember, they are already in the grey list. There are certain requirements of the FATF which it is expected that Pakistan will only comply, and if only they comply, perhaps some sort of a relief could be given to Pakistan. This is some sort of exchange that has basically taken place from Pakistan, in terms of the information that has been provided to United States. Given the fact that this is an operation that was well planned by the United States, this is not an information that they have worked on in the last few days, but in fact the operation has was being planned right from in July. If you really look at some of the Pentagon sources that have been quoted by the Western media, then one would get a clear idea of the fact that this was being planned for over a month now, and especially given the fact that the United States President Joe Biden was also facing a lot of his ratings had gone down. There was the fact of the matter is that it was largely being seen as a government which was not really acting upon, and of course the Russia-Ukraine war weighing upon the U.S. president. So somewhere down the line, there was more pressure on the U.S. also. So it turns out that this operation was well crafted, but the fact of the matter is that Pakistan has a huge role to play.
Yes.
The fact that this was basically a guest house of the Haqqanis is a clear indication of what they were essentially planning to do.
All right. All right. Shravan, thank you so much. We'll keep coming back to you. So our senior editor, Shravan, they're getting us all those details. And what we understand as of now is that Taliban had knowledge about the fact that Zawahiri had taken shelter in the heart of the city in Kabul. And Taliban there also condemning this attack that has been carried out by the US forces.
I'm here near the Sherpur place where the drone strike was done by the American forces on Sunday around early morning, around 6 a.m. So here and around 1 kilometer, no single person is allowed to go there. So I'm finding a place where I can show you the targeted house. So you can see that this was the place where the previous government high official was resident. They lived there, but now this is under the control of the Taliban high officials. So after the situation or after the bomb attack struck here, the security situation is very high. And every road and every sub-road, there is a security, there is a Taliban fighter that they are not allowing people to go there. So it was really a high official places there, they live there. So now no one is allowed to go near to see the place targeted house. So the security is very high there.